Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I have a little slightly different audio setup today. I feel like a professional news reporter right now. This is my new audio setup with my new microphone, so I hope you guys can hear me clearly. But the reason for this video is news just came in that the White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, who has been spending time with the president over the past couple of days in the hospital, did indeed talk about stimulus this morning, and he said that there needs to be piecemeal stimulus. There needs to be piecemeal legislation to get some things passed. And I just want to be clear, this is not a good thing, because I can tell you with a high degree of confidence that if he pushes for piecemeal stimulus, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are going to be out the door, because they're not going to do any piecemeal stimulus. They've stayed with that position. And if anything, at this point in time, I think they'll further dig their heels in with their position, given the fact that, the headlines are bad for the administration, given the fact that the economy isn't looking very good. So again, this Mark Meadows actually did say that he was calling for piecemeal legislation for stimulus. So I don't think that's a good sign. I'll let you know as soon as more news comes out. And he also said, I just want to be clear, this is an approach that Democrats have rejected for months. He also stressed the importance of moving forward, I quote, in a fiscally responsible manner. Now, this is not a great sign for talks, because U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have been working through the weekend. And as soon as news comes out about what they decided, what they came up with, I'll let you know on this channel. But I did want to let you know what Mark Meadows said. And unfortunately, and by the way, it is clear that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi does not like speaking with Mark Meadows. She has actually said that. So, now there is some speculation, according to Jeff Stein at the Washington Post, that Mark Meadows is intentionally playing bad cop. These are the words used by Jeff Stein at the Washington Post, that Mark Meadows is intentionally playing bad cop to U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin's good cop in an effort to create a better bargaining position, a better negotiating position with the Democrats, specifically with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who's been asking for more and more money. So this could be an internal game going on in Washington. But what you get on my channel is essentially you're getting up-to-the-minute analysis and commentary on what's going on. I will let you know as things evolve, but this is where things stand right now. And Meadows' bad cop routine may essentially be a maneuver, a negotiating tactic, a ploy to say, hey, we can walk away from the negotiations if you're not willing to play ball with us. The problem is, House Speaker Pelosi has already demonstrated that she's willing to walk away from negotiations. I've mentioned this before. In any negotiation, the side that's willing to walk away is the side that has more power, that has more leverage, and the side that has more to lose tends to come closer and closer and closer to the other side. So we are actually seeing that play out right now. And I think it's pretty evident that the president wants more stimulus. It's evident that the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin wants more stimulus. It's also evident that House Speaker Pelosi wants more stimulus. It's very clear that the Republican establishment, many Republican senators, Republican lawmakers, the leadership within the Republican Party have White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows as their representative, as a counterbalance, if you will, to all of these other forces. And so that is where things stand right now. Once again, these are brand new comments from Mark Meadows, which is surprising considering that those aspects, number one, the piecemeal legislation, and number two, what Mark Meadows said in terms of, I quote, a fiscally responsible manner, are things that the Democrats are, going to counter and say, hey, we need one big bill. We've been pushing it for months. We had the HEROES Act. We had the updated version of the HEROES Act. So hopefully somebody budges. It doesn't really matter who budges, because for me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. For me, what matters is the two sides come to a consensus and we see something happening very quickly. And let's take a look at the quote from White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows on Fox. He was interviewed on Fox this morning. He said there's a potential for a deal as long as politics doesn't get in the way again. He said that maybe we should do a piecemeal legislation. Maybe we should do it in smaller parts. And he also said that we need to do this in a fiscally responsible manner. So I thought this was very interesting because, again, this is something that the Democrats are simply not going to do, the piecemeal component of it. And this is something that the Fox News anchors also pointed out. So it's very interesting to look at the comments of the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows. Again, this could be part of a good cop, bad cop routine, but I think this is very interesting because this shows that the administration, from as at least when you listen to the White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, is staying firm with their position of wanting to do smaller packages first. And I can tell you, as far as I know, that if the White House tries to force this, then I think the House Speaker Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are going to be out, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But let's listen to what the White House Chief of Staff, the advisor to the president, said on Fox this morning. Let's roll the tape.
You got two game plans you need. You need the Trump re-election campaign's got to figure out a way to get him reelected without him. Number two is you got to figure out a way to keep the economy going and the American people's needs met. And one of the things I think it's pretty much agreed upon is we need another rescue plan, another stimulus package. The Democrats think they have it. You sat in on these negotiations. Word is you were fed up because you didn't really feel that the Democrats were being sincere. Where are we at now? Could there be a new sense of urgency for Democrats and Republicans? And could you tell us if we should be optimistic today?
Well, I do think that there is a potential for a deal as long as politics do not get in the way again. I can tell you that Secretary Mnuchin and Speaker Pelosi have been talking. The Secretary and I have been in constant contact, even while we're here, to try to make sure that we can find a way to move forward. But even if a large comprehensive bill is not possible because of a few things that are out there, and there's still some major differences, let's go ahead and pass a number of the things that we can agree upon, and hopefully we can do that. She
won't do that. You know the Speaker won't do that.
Well, she doesn't want to do that, but I think at this point it's incumbent upon all Americans to put pressure on Congress to say it's time to come to the table. The president has come up over and over and over again. It's compromised on a number of issues. Leader McConnell and I had a discussion day before yesterday about this particular issue. It's time that we do that, and yet there are a lot of people that continue to hurt, are waiting on stimulus, and the president's committed to getting a deal done, but he wants to make sure that we move expeditiously, but also in a fiscally responsible manner.
Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, I'm trying a new audio setup. I feel like a professional news reporter right now. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream, and I want to help you live your American dream. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. I will give you up-to-the-minute analysis of what's going on in Washington when it pertains to the stimulus. And I do want to be clear, this channel is not just a stimulus channel. This channel is much, much more. I have bigger goals, bigger aspirations for my viewers and for my subscribers. I'm spending a lot of time. My team is working overtime in order to be able to bring you cutting edge content to hopefully help you thrive in a world beyond stimulus, which is my aspiration for my viewers and for my subscribers. So again, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. If you want to get on our SMS alerts list, please get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and then you'll get added to SMS alerts list. You can also get added to our email list. Go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. It's a little funny for me actually holding this because normally I have both my hands free because, I have a microphone on my collar. But, I actually like this. Let me know if you, I'm sure it doesn't make a difference to you, but I want to make sure you can hear me clearly. I believe that's the most important thing because, audio is actually more important than the actual visuals in these videos because you're interested in what I have to say as opposed to the visuals of it, right? So let me know if this audio is okay. And if you want to see me reporter style, or if it doesn't matter to you and you're okay with the microphone on my jacket. All right. So let's get back to it. So by the way, you can follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is ignition_time. You get breaking news and alerts from us on Twitter. Also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is also ignition_time. So please follow us on Instagram. I would appreciate that sometimes YouTube does not send out notifications. So please make sure that you bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way you get this way you can instantly see what videos we release without waiting for YouTube notifications. I really, really appreciate you watching. Your vote of confidence in me and my team is you clicking the like button, you subscribing, you enabling notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.